Well, if he really was filming everybody, I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right? You know who said?
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, you know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh.
Welcome to Straight Up Chaos. Smash that like button and subscribe, because this latest twist just rocked both the music world and the sports scene like an earthquake. Joe Rogan, Terrence Howard, and Katt Williams have gone off big time after some insane files linked to Diddy surfaced. And guess who else is sounding the alarm? Elon Musk. Yep, he's calling out all the white celebs who might be tangled up in this scandal and warning them to stop running scared. Word is, some are already trying to dip out the country like their bags were already packed.
You know?
Sounds rough, man.
Well, it's just amazing how many people on the Diddy party list that are supporting Kamala, too.
Yeah, seriously. It's like insane.
Publicly, openly, like all in.
Yes. It's like J-Lo like was like his ex-girlfriend. and it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
Now, before we go deeper into the mess, let's get one thing straight. This is all based on what insiders and the internet are buzzing about. I'm just laying out what's being said, so don't come at me. Fresh tea just spilled from the prison where Diddy's being held, and it's wild. Reports say Diddy's ready to talk if it'll help him walk free. And according to Joe, Terrence, and Katt, a few big-time names might get dragged if Diddy starts naming names. But nobody saw this next one coming.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
Uncle Steve Harvey. Yup. Online chatter and Cat shady hints suggest that as soon as Steve got wind of Diddy's indictment, he jetted fast. They're saying he didn't just skip town, he did a full sweep. Shut down his spots, scrubbed his socials, anything tied to Diddy, gone. Steve Harvey even went back and deleted a tweet from way back in 2017 where he called Diddy a brother doing good for these kids. Yeah, that comment did not age well, and this whole situation just keeps getting darker.
If you don't mind me asking, because I know the topic is sensitive, what happened to Usher?
I heard about some music executive from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not going to speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that, and they may be doing some programs. They may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
What did you hear?
Bro, you know how people be talking and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when somebody say, yo, man, I don't F with them, man, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, nigga was bleeding from the... And that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what happened. So, and just to hear this, and this new thing where they saying that they got kids coming forward and said that he did that, man, that shit is crazy. And like I just said, that's just something that I heard.
Back in the day, Steve was acting like everything was all good. He was out living it up in Italy with Diddy, and guess who else was there? Lori Harvey. And here's where it gets real messy. Lori was dating Diddy after she broke things off with Diddy's son, Justin. That's right, she dated the dad right after the son. Just nasty. But the part that really gave folks chills, a photo of Lori with white nail polish, sounds harmless, right? But if you've been following the Diddy drama, that detail is straight up disturbing. In her lawsuit, Cassie said Diddy forced every woman around him to wear white nails. Why? So when the freak-offs went down, the contrast would pop on camera, especially against the skin of his black employees. According to her, it was all part of his sick recordings that he allegedly kept. Even crazier, Young Miami had white nails, and even Diddy's own mom was seen with them too. So now everyone's asking, was Steve Harvey really clueless?
Martin tried to put me in my first dress. When he had to go on his hiatus, he tell me, Katt, when I come back, I need you. You my young partner, you my brother in comedy. When I come back, just promise me that my next movie, it'll be me and you. We gonna do it together. We gonna do some buddy cop shit. I said, Martin, you got my word. Go do what you gotta do. When you come back, I'm in your movie. Don't trip. I don't need to see the script or nothing. You know, we get in that office and this fool pull out Big Mama's house too.
Or was he cozying up to Diddy on purpose, trying to climb higher in Hollywood? Back then, Diddy was sitting on billionaire status, running Revolt TV, and had deep ties with top Hollywood producers. That's why folks in the streets are saying, if Diddy starts talking, the truth about why Steve Harvey vanished so quick might finally come out. And then there's Meek Mill. Ever since the news of Diddy's arrest hit, Meek's been super silent, which is strange because him and Diddy go way back.
Do all those things. When you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing.
Remember that wild video of Meek in the pool calling Diddy daddy and saying, I love you? It used to seem like a joke, but now it's just uncomfortable. That clip aged terribly. What made it worse? Right when Diddy's legal mess was blowing up and people were being name dropped in lawsuit after lawsuit, Meek ghosted. He didn't just fall back, he took flight. According to Lil Rod, who filed one of the lawsuits, Diddy was giving Meek deals and allegedly bending him in ways that shocked people. As the heat turned up, Meek suddenly popped up in Africa, acting all mysterious on social media. He even tweeted that he dropped $100,000 for anyone who could tell him who was trying to link him to Diddy. But here's the thing, the internet ain't buying it. People are connecting dots, and Meek's silence, it's only raising more questions. Word on the street is Meek Mill's in full damage control mode. People are saying he might have been caught on some footage the Feds scooped up. If that's true, it's just a matter of time before things explode once this case really kicks off.
So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers coming to make the approach, and you punch them in the mouth, knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room.
Right now, he's out here pretending like he don't know nothing, but nobody's buying that act. Now let's talk about Usher. Yeah, he's been real shaky too. He's been linked to Diddy for years, and now his name's coming up heavy in all this madness. Usher's connection to Diddy goes way back to when he was just 13, during that time called Flavor Camp. That's what Diddy used to run, like some kind of exclusive circle for young talent. But now people are saying Usher might have been dragged into some messed up scenes back then. And don't forget what Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, claimed. He said Diddy once sent Usher to the hospital, bleeding from a very sensitive area. That's a serious allegation. People online aren't brushing this off. They're digging deep and asking tough questions. If even a fraction of this turns out to be real, it could shake the entire industry. When you thought this mess couldn't get any wilder, that old interview with Kevin Hart and Diddy came back to haunt them. In the clip, Diddy joked about waking up in bed with Usher when they were younger. Back then, folks laughed it off like it was just Diddy being Diddy. But now, nobody's laughing. Not even close. With everything coming out, people are side-eyeing that clip hard. If Usher got caught up in any of that behind-the-scenes madness, he better have his legal team locked and loaded, because the heat is rising fast. Now let's talk Jay-Z. Him and Diddy been boys for years. Parties, power moves, business deals, all of it. But now Jay's name is floating in the shadows too, and it's messy. There's this woman named Kathy White.
I have 3 right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about.
Word is, she was Jay's mistress, and here's where it turns dark. Rumors say she passed away after getting pregnant by him. People used to whisper about it, but now the streets are saying Diddy might have known the real story. Maybe even had it on tape. And that's not even the only scandal Jay's name is being dragged into. Remember a few months back when that shocking lawsuit came out? An unnamed woman accused both Diddy and Jay-Z of assault, saying it all went down after the 2000 VMAs during some exclusive party at a luxury spot in NYC. At first, the case had people shook, but once things hit the courtroom, the story started falling apart.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together.
The woman said her father picked her up after the alleged incident, but when he testified, he straight up said he didn't remember anything like that happening. She also claimed she spoke to Benji Madden at that same party, but Benji clapped back saying he wasn't even in New York at the time. Too many holes, not enough facts. With all that shaky ground, the judge ended up dismissing the whole case. But that didn't stop the drama. If anything, it turned up the volume. Jaguar Wright jumped in and went off on Jay-Z. She didn't hold back at all. She said Jay's just as grimy as Diddy, maybe worse. She even called him the devil. Her words, not mine.
She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years.
And now, the buzz is that if Diddy really got something linking Jay-Z to those so-called freak-offs, it's game over. If any receipts surface, Jay's entire image could go up in flames. And how could anybody forget that awkward birthday video of Diddy singing to French Montana? Both of them slicked up in baby oil, looking way too cozy for comfort. People brushed it off as harmless fun, but now, that clip hits way different. Why? Because the feds reportedly found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil in Diddy's spot during their search. 1,000. That scene with French Montana ain't looking so playful anymore. It's raising serious eyebrows. And this madness doesn't end there. Jennifer Lopez just got pulled into the conversation too. Flashback to that club shooting with Shine back in the day. Sources are now claiming J-Lo knew the real deal.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
Allegedly, she was the one carrying the strap in her purse and then turned around and lied to the grand jury. That's not just gossip either. That's coming straight from Natanya Rubin, one of the women injured that night. She's been loud about reopening the case, saying she's even down to get the bullet fragments pulled from her face if that's what it takes to get justice. Natanya Rubin didn't hold back. She straight up said J-Lo lied for years, and now she wants both Diddy and J-Lo to finally be held accountable.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friend. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
It's a special birthday for both of us.
Yeah.
If this thing really blows open, J-Lo might actually have to face the consequences she's dodged for decades. But this is where things start spinning out even harder. Whistleblowers like Katt Williams and Terrence Howard are now dragging white celebs into the mix, the ones who've suddenly gone ghost mode. Even Elon Musk jumped into the fire. He reposted a tweet that called out Ellen DeGeneres for disappearing right after the Diddy news broke, and people started connecting the dots. Ellen didn't just take a break, she vanished. A new pic popped up showing her chilling at a quiet pub in England, looking like a whole new person, new hair, low-key outfit, like she's trying to disappear in plain sight.
You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public. And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
She claims she just needed a break and wanted to escape the madness in America. But folks online, they're not buying that story. They think she's running fast. And here's the kicker. Ellen and Diddy go way back. He was a regular on her show, always laughing, telling wild stories, even hinting at some nights that now sound a little too real.
The irony is there was a grand jury
we all had to go and speak at the grand jury. J-Lo testified at the grand jury, as did many other people. It needs to be reopened, because if that is in fact the case, she carried the gun in and she lied to the grand jury. It needs to be reopened.
Back in 2016, Ellen tweeted Diddy a birthday message calling him Cuddled McSnuggle Stuff and added, "Y'all don't need to know why." But now, yeah, people definitely want to know why. That tweet's not aging well at all. Ellen already had a reputation for being messy behind the scenes.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right.
Former staff exposed her for running what some called the most toxic set in all of Hollywood. And now, whispers are turning into full-blown rumors. 2 of her former romantic partners reportedly passed away under strange conditions, and folks are starting to connect the dots. Some are even saying Diddy might have played a role in covering things up. It's wild, but the way this case is unfolding, nothing's off the table.
Yeah, no, it's great. So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seemed to show up.
No, well, is it on the East Coast?
Yes.
Well, that's why. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's that? Now, what time would your party start, let's say?
That's a different type of party, though.
Uh-huh.
No, it'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 2, 3 o'clock. And then, you know, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
And then it will carry on there?
Yeah. Then no, I mean the after party.
No, I know about them.
As soon as Joe Rogan finished tearing it apart, Katt Williams came in swinging, and he didn't bite his tongue at all. For years, people treated Katt like he was just ranting. But now, he's looking more like the one who saw it coming before anybody else did. Katt put the whole industry on blast. No filters, no favorites. He said it straight. It doesn't matter what color you are. If you were moving shady behind closed doors, it's your turn in the spotlight. And guess who else just got dragged into the mess? Leonardo DiCaprio. Yep, as soon as the story started unraveling, his name popped up too.
Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did.
Leonardo DiCaprio suddenly hopping on a jet to Italy. He said it was just a chill vacation with his new girl, but the timing had people doing double takes. Why? Because old photos just resurfaced from Diddy's East Hampton mansion back in '98. And guess who was there? Leo, posted up in the background like it was just another day. Now folks are seriously questioning how deep that Diddy-Leo connection really ran. Word around Hollywood is that in the early 2000s, Leo and Diddy were tight, real tight.
Puffy invited me for weeks asking me to come and teach him wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. He's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. He's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay, so then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to...
Come on now, dog.
That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh.
Come on, man.
Now I get it.
Diddy even used to call Leo his #1 invite to those infamous all-white parties that have now taken on a whole new meaning. That, without a doubt, you are invited. Energy is starting to sound creepy in hindsight. And right when this heat started bubbling, Leo's team came out fast trying to shut it down, claiming he hasn't spoken to Diddy in years. But people aren't letting that slide so easy. And then there's Ashton Kutcher. He's been moving a little strange too. Ashton had ties to Diddy through MTV back in the day, and they weren't just party friends. They ran the New York Marathon together. Plus, Ashton pulled up to that 2009 white party too. And now folks are wondering, was he just another guest, or is there more to it? Remember that Hot Ones interview where Ashton Kutcher suddenly got all jittery when asked about Diddy's parties? He said he had stories, but couldn't share them. At the time, it seemed like just nerves. But now, people think he was holding back something way deeper. According to In Touch, Ashton and Mila Kunis are planning to ditch Hollywood altogether and start fresh in Europe. They're saying it's just about taking a break from the spotlight, but folks online are saying, nah, it's about escaping the blast zone before Diddy's trial pops off. And just when things were already on fire, Terrence Howard came through and dropped a straight-up bomb on the PBD podcast. This wasn't vague or cryptic. He spilled everything.
Who's the person that's #1 on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list,
Yes,
right?
without a doubt, you are invited.
Terrence said Diddy approached him pretending it was all business. First, it was about acting help. Then came music studio invites. But it turns out it wasn't about the art at all. According to Terrence, Diddy just wanted to get close in a way that had nothing to do with career moves. And get this, Terrence's own assistant had to hit him with the truth and said he wants to smash. That's when Terrence backed out fast. He shut down every connection, slammed the doors, and disappeared from Diddy's orbit completely. Terrence didn't stop at Diddy. He made it crystal clear that Diddy wasn't the only one pulling those moves. He said this twisted behavior is nothing new. It's a pattern that's been running deep in the industry. According to him, when a man walks into certain rooms, the energy shifts. You either play along or you get iced out. And when you push back against those shady vibes, you stop getting those invites. You stop getting those opportunities. That's the cold truth. And Terrence said it's happened to more stars than people realize. Then Katt Williams jumped in and co-signed everything. He said he's been dodging this kind of nonsense for years, claimed he turned down offers over $50 million just to keep his name and his boundaries intact. And when he said he was protecting his virgin whole, he meant that. No jokes. He was serious about standing his ground. Katt also warned people, these flashy deals ain't always what they seem. He said a lot of folks sign up without realizing the real price. And as for Diddy, according to Katt, Diddy's been trying to get close to him for years now, but Katt always kept it moving. No deals, no dinners, no games. Then the convo circled right back to one of Hollywood's most whispered about topics, the so-called dress agenda. That theory about how the industry tries to push black men into wearing dresses or playing super soft roles before they can hit the top. And this ain't new. Terrence Howard, Dave Chappelle, and others have been calling it out for years. Terrence said that's exactly why he got booted from Iron Man. According to him, it had nothing to do with money like everyone claimed. It was because he refused to play the game. He wasn't about to water himself down or wear a dress to stay in the spotlight. Katt Williams said he went through the same thing. He claimed Martin Lawrence tried to push him into wearing a dress for Big Mama's house, but Katt wasn't having it. He said straight up, he wasn't the one they were looking for. And guess what? They went and got Brandon T. Jackson instead. Katt said he had all the roles lined up, all the opportunities laid out, but he drew the line. No dress, no deal. And he didn't stop there. He called out Kevin Hart too. Katt reminded folks how Kevin once said he'd never wear a dress, but then, bam. Next thing you know, Kevin Hart's on SNL in a dress doing the exact thing he said he'd never do. And right after that, his career exploded. Katt Williams isn't calling it a coincidence. He's saying that's how the system really works. You either play the game or you get locked out. Even Dave Chappelle shared that same exact experience. He told Oprah how they tried to get him in a dress too. And what did he do? He bounced straight to Africa, didn't even look back. Katt's message is loud and clear. Some people go along with the agenda and cash in. Others walk away broke just to protect their dignity and self-respect. And now the internet is lit up. Everyone's suddenly trying to distance themselves from Diddy, claiming they had no real connection. But let's be real. Everybody knows Hollywood couldn't get enough of Diddy's parties. One comment even said, I hope the Epstein list and the Diddy list drop at the same time. Let all these evil people face justice. As we creep closer to that May 2025 trial, this whole thing feels like a ticking clock, countdown style. So what do you think? Is Hollywood finally getting exposed for what it really is? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're watching it all unfold. And if you're riding with us for more raw truths and bold takes, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, share this video, and click on the next one popping up on your screen now.